Yeah, is it a live account, Steve? I'm just wondering if maybe demo accounts, they have the news feed turned off or something. I don't know. Just thinking out loud. Yeah, so maybe they just do that for demo. I don't know, because it slows down. It does cost money, you know. I don't know. Contact support. It's an opportunity to get to know our good people. Yeah. All right. All right. Where do you want to go? Let's just review a couple of things. So we looked at pitchforks. Seems helpful a little bit, right? However, was that really what was happening in these pitchforks? And this is kind of what I discovered over many years of trading. The pitchforks were not entirely wrong, but they were not entirely right. But there were other things in play that I felt told me the same thing, but was more accurate. Things like price action, right? Role reversals, what used to be support becomes resistance. Pivot points, M3 to M1, so on and so forth. And that even though there's nothing wrong with the pitchfork, it's redundant at best. You know, because they'll say something like, well, because it broke through the bottom channel, there's an 82% chance it'll come back and top the top of the channel. And another person would say, maybe it'll fib, dude. And it shows them almost exactly the same thing as a pitchfork. But now that it's down here and starting to hesitate, it'll probably retrace somewhere between the 3.8 and 6.18. And on a pitchfork, it'd be the center fork or the upper fork. But whatever, it's kind of the same thing. And then, of course, price action above us, right? Have you ever been to India and meet the price action Bubba? He the best. Gotta get rid of this thing. There we go. Right? So a price action Bubba would be waiting for it to come back here anyways. Moving averages would say, well, you're way down here, you're way overstretched, right? So in my book, I call it a snapback, right? It's like drawing a string and then letting go, comes back and then probably reset back down. So it's like all of these things are telling me exactly the same thing. So I really don't care whether you use a pitchfork or not, or moving averages or not, or Fibonacci or not, or price action or not, or pivot points or not. Just get on the clue train, right? But the part that I like most is that here, right, which if you think about it, is not a pivot point, is not a moving average, is not a lot of different things. But here, we expected a double top reversal in here, which then dropped us to the 55, which then helped us predict this move. So there's some alpha in there, there's some braininess. So you have to ask yourself, what was most helpful? What can you learn from that? All right? Yeah, Pete says it's been a good week, great week, good month. Excellent, man. And Pete, I saw that post that you made, and I appreciate that. I'm glad the swing trading course is working for you. I'm glad you're sticking to a strategy to master. I think it's all really good ideas. Okay. So when we look at this, we see a touch of oil, retracement, but not back to the central, and then a rise again. This is not exactly what we outlined on Monday, right? But the thing is, what can you learn from this? And I believe I said, even though the pivot suggests we go back to the weekly, I think what I said is if you go to a higher time frame like a 4-hour, these guys are just going to trade it like price action, where they're going to use this as support. It doesn't have to go back to the weekly central. The relevant point being, this is way overbought and a retracement is due. All right? This was a play off the $50 mark. I believe we also talked about that. I don't think it's supposed to fall significantly. I think it can get to above 50. I think it probably will get above 50. It doesn't have to. But there are a lot of things happening that should get us back to 54. But we said that at 44. In fact, we said it at 50 on the way down to 44, and then at 44 back. Is that all pretty accurate? And so what's the takeaway here? Well, I think one of the takeaways is, be careful with language like, if you hit your pivot profit zone early in the week, it's supposed to, or it has to go back to the weekly central. That's not necessarily true. It should retrace. And ultimately, the answer is retraced back to support. Often, it's the weekly central, but more importantly, back to support. And so on Monday, we said that support had to do with 4-hour traders using roll reversals, right? Just simple 4-hour price action. Hold top, predicts a bottom. Sure enough, went back up. Obviously, pivots are more important. Back down, obviously, this is the range. Now, what we don't know is, are you going to get an opportunity to, right? So I have this going all the way back to 54, but on a smaller time frame, you would hope for a dip and rally. But it seems to me a bull has done what they were going to do for the week, right? Like it's over for them, right? If you were a bull, would you readjust now? Well, you've already broken the weekly target, right? Yeah. Okay, well then what would you do if you longed it already? Okay. Then, but see, I don't know what your answer is, right? I don't know what your answer is, and it doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is you ask those questions. Who's in control? So what would they do now? Have you asked yourself if the weeklies are being used? Is there clear evidence to you that the market is using weekly pivots to make decisions? then you know what they're thinking about. Cool. Okay? And to me, that's what's important, is you're going through a logical, intelligent thought process. And you don't say things like, oh, it's supposed to do this, or Mac Z told me to do that. I was thinking about going to Ghana. Has anyone been to Ghana? Anthony, yeah? Nice place? A few times. Do I need like do I need like 10 guys with AK-47s to back me up? But third world. But third world. Ah, yeah. Like that. All right. So, okay, once again, pivot, pitchforks. Maybe I didn't have them drawn properly back here or something, or, you know, I guess it looks like I thought it was going to go up at that point. But, you know, I look at this and, you know, I don't know, let's say you drew them differently or something. Really? Like, are they really that helpful? Maybe I don't know all the rules. But you can see how over the years I start deleting things. Heidi, everybody in America has a gun? Well, what if you were walking around with golden diamonds? Millions and millions, tens of millions of dollars worth. Yeah, leave the Rolex at home. All my watches are broken anyways. I don't know. I have a Tiffany over there. It's dead. I got, what the hell is this? This is dead. I can't even see it. What is it, a Todd? It's dead. Broken band. I can't find what, I don't know. My watch scenario is a disaster. So I can get rid of it. Yeah, right. Yeah. No, I don't know. Yeah, so I might have to do some business there, and just for fun, I think I'll roll heavy. More likely, I'll just send somebody else. All right, so yeah, so pitchforks, get rid of them. Monthly pivots seem to be helpful to me. Weekly pivots seem to be helpful to me. Monthly, it seems more important than weekly, doesn't it? Now, we got a weekly swing. That's the sell zone. That's the target. Blown through the target, but look where we stop. Okay? And I guess if you use an S3, some people do. They're so unusual that I don't do them. There's probably an S3 down here. Heidi says I'll enjoy it. Well, I'm hoping to be in Johannesburg again soon. I hope to be in Cape Town soon. Somebody told me the other day, I'm like, hey man, have you ever been to Africa? And he's like, not the real Africa. I'm like, not the real Africa? He's like, yeah, Morocco, Egypt, South Africa, but not the real Africa. I'm like, all right. I don't know what that means. You want real Africa? You got to go to Congo or something? That's real Africa? So it's just, yeah. So it's funny though, right? I'm like, well, there's a lot of people in South Africa that, yeah, that might consider South Africa, Africa. So anyways, look, another move down maybe. But, you know, I don't know, really? But why not? Yens were way oversold, or in that case, bought, right? Yeah, well, someone wanted to do an oil deal in South Sudan. I'm like, is there a Ritz-Carlton? I Googled it, like, there's no Ritz-Carlton. I ain't going to South Sudan. Hell no. Yeah, don't go to Somalia. So I can't get this stupid toolbar to go away. Just amazing. So yeah, so is it the end of the month? It's not the end of the month, is it? It's only the 19th. Ugh. So, you know, we got to get these. I mean, the yen strengthening isn't that much of a shock, but it's like, how long will it strengthen? And then remember, eventually the Fed will raise in June. So yeah, dollar weakness now, and then dollar strength later. Oh, did you guys track the bond fund flows? Oh, yeah. Where did I get that? Maybe it was MT4. Let's see, bond fund flows. I saw it, I think, yesterday, and I think it was here. La 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 la. Oh, this is all today, right? So much news. We go to yesterday. See if we can find it. Central bank auction. I wish this stuff was searchable. Same thing with the code base. I wish it was searchable. How dumb that it's not. Okay, come on, bond fund flows. Still 18. Well, there's the leading indicator stuff, but I thought it was after leading indicator. Too much news, huh? Just too much. Hang on, bear with me. Let's find it. It had to have been after this. I think I've gone too far. Philly Fed. All right, it won't even go farther back than Philly Fed. That's all right. Let's see if I can find it going up now. Bond fund flows, bond fund flows. I hold the dairy of the bond fund flows. Mister's a woman. I think that was the funniest joke of the year. I don't have too many funny jokes. That was pretty funny though. U.S. stocks, Central Bank, Brazil, 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 Brazil. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Okay, it must have been after the close, so we must be close. Trump, 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 Washington, U.S. base. Yeah, all right, good, 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 good. I think I found it. Yeah, yeah. Oh my God, this is way more than. All right, this is way more than what I read. But let's go. Let's sort through this. All right, this is what I remember. U.S.-based Japanese stock funds. 371 million outflow. So, U.S.-based hedge funds pulled 400 million out of Japanese stock funds. U.S.-based European stock funds added 661 million. So maybe a big chunk of that 400 million went out of Japan, went to Europe. Why? You buy it because the euro's cheap, and the worst is over. Okay? Emerging markets, they added 1.5 billion. That's the largest inflow since March. 1.5 billion US-based emerging markets. Sorry, I might have said European. So EM attracted 1.5, which would be what, China, India, right? Debt funds, which are bond funds, 600 million for emerging market. Right? So we're looking at over 2 billion already just in emerging markets. Right? And remember, they pulled a lot of that out of Japan and stuck it into China, basically. Government treasury funds, inflation protected funds, domestic focused stocks. Right? Look at this, guys. US based domestic focused stock funds. 6 billion out. Now let me ask you something. Where did the dollar weakness come from that we've had in the last 3 weeks? Dink, dink, dink. I can't get the honey from the honey pot. No, it's the fact that $6 billion left the United States. Where does it go? Whatever. I'm only talking dollar weakness. Yeah. Now, I think it had to do with the stock market being very, very high and VIX very low, which means investors were naked. Why were they naked? They didn't plan on staying in. $6 billion. But you know what? The funny thing is, that's nothing. That's a joke. That's so little amount of money is so silly. But whatever. So, you know, there's some interesting information here, right? Domestic focused stock funds post $6 billion outflow for the week. High yield bonds. They attracted 650 million, which is a little bit surprising. But what does that tell us? What are the hedge funds doing? They're getting out of stocks. And 650 million in high yield. What's going on there? Yeah, and in fact, they're catching high, I mean, they're junk bonds, but they're getting a high interest rate payment. Have you watched the yield on the 10-year T-note for the last couple of weeks? Went from 2.4 to 2.2. That's not a small move. It means they're buying bonds. And some people are buying risky bonds. 650 million for the week. US-based money market, where did it go now? Just click. US-based money market funds attract 4.1 billion for the week. Third week of inflows. And look at this, new US sanctions on Venezuela. Time to go buy some beachfront real estate, huh? Lots of lovely information, huh? Wayne, where do you get your information on fundies? Right there. Cool. It's amazing what kind of information you find if you look, huh? But do you see how investors decided to put $6 billion somewhere else besides the United States? Just so happens the dollar's weak. But if it's flowing out of the United States, it's a currency trade. They're shorting the US dollar. And they're buying, they're longing something else, whatever it is. Maybe it's just their local currency and they're just putting it back in their bank account. But maybe they're buying Taiwanese stock market. Taiwan's got a lot of money, man. Let's take a look here. Nothing's really changed. Okay. We have done the part of the move. If this can make a higher high, even better. But ticking along, right? No. Buying bonds does not mean an increase in money supply. Unless, what? Unless you're the central bank. Yeah. But look, if you cash out of the stock market and buy the bond market, there's no increase in money supply. All you've done is moved your money from the stock market to the bond market. Money supply has not changed. It's a vertical line. There's no slope to money supply. Okay. Oh, yeah. This one. Guess we got to look at this. How am I doing so far? I don't know, Peter. I never watched it that closely. I only like the trade I teach. Besides that, I don't really trade it daily. But it's such a high yield. I mean, if you can short and hold, that'd be great. Yeah. We could look at it. So you're trying to trade it every day, huh? Yeah, it's a high yielder, but you know, it's an exotic, so you got to be a little careful. Life is beautiful. Yeah, I lost an old template, some indicators. Too bad. Now, I've given a few people an indicator, I think people that I've mentored, that had the daily high, the daily low, the closest psych levels, the fib levels, and the pivot levels. And I included it on a template called like day trading or something. Thought maybe Ryan, I gave it to you, or Daniel, or somebody. Really? I used to use it every day. It's just, you know, nobody has that. None of my mentorees. Oh, can you send that back to me? I'd appreciate that. Kind of miss it. It's just pretty on the, especially just on the day charts. Thank you. Namaste, my friend. So, peso, huh? Yeah, see, yeah. Yeah, so I like to this one I trade in a particular way, don't I? And this month wasn't a very good entry. Maybe it had something to do with Cinco de Mayo or something. $10 p.m. Central Time, like Central European Time. Minnesota. Well, what you're talking about is the Shanghai Open, and after Shanghai, there isn't anything until, right? There isn't anything until the London Open, which is also the Asia close. So, yeah, so your 10 p.m. Minnesota time, right? So, like, what is that, Central? So you're an hour, right? Yeah, so that's perfect, right? So 7 p.m. is for you is Tokyo. 8:30 is Shanghai. And so by the time 10 o'clock comes around, Asia's open. You got Australia open. So, like, as far as trading's concerned, Australia, South Korea, and Japan all open at the same time. And then an hour and a half after that, you got China. And of course, India's in there somewhere at half times, and some, Taiwan is in there, But so basically between 8 p.m. New York and 10 p.m. New York, all of Asia is open. Not just banks. So banks open at different times, but like Japanese and Korean banks open at 8 p.m. New York time, right? Chinese banks open at 9:30 or 9. So what you're looking at, the things flatten out at 10 p.m. Central, is the fact that all of Asia's open. Everything that was supposed to happen has happened. Nothing's going to happen until Asia closes, which coincides with European Open. So, yeah. So the big thing, there are two big things. Banks opening, right, especially on the weekend, over the weekend, because things like wires and stuff build up over the weekend where businesses are wiring money from here to there, and business deals that happen Friday or Saturday have money attached to these business deals. And so when the banker comes in at the morning, he's got a few $1 billion in wire transfers coming in and out. So at the click of 8 o'clock in the morning, someone goes and opens the front door, right? And then they go, boom, they click a button, money in and out. And that moves the market because we're talking about a lot of money for the banking system for all of South Korea, all of Japan. Imagine how many wire transfers have built up over 3 days for all of Japan, every bank in Japan, every customer in Japan that may have wanted to wire internationally, all that hits all at the same time. And then the stock market's open, and that will attract or repel money as well. Right? The stock market's open, like, cash out, get my money home. Well, that'll be short selling the local currency, well, the whatever, and then bringing it back, right? Repatriation. So that's why all that works. So the fact that 10 p.m. Central for you, things flatten out, well, of course. Remember, this is business. This is all business. Most of forex is not speculative. Right? Can you imagine, like, Indonesia selling oil to China in dollars? Doesn't even affect, U.S. has nothing to do with it. It's amazing. So they negotiate a deal and transfer some money. Hey, here's your oil, China. China says, all right, here's your dollars. Indonesia. Yeah. Am I right, guys? Does Indonesia sell its oil in dollars? I think so. No? All right, so I don't know what to do over here. Let's take a look. MR2. If I were me, I'd get out. I'll leave myself a friendly reminder. Nobody knows about Indonesian oil, what its currency, you know. It is due, right? Yeah. Thanks, Shug. No, I thought it was higher than that. No-fly zone's higher. And then also be careful about old rules applying to new reality. Okay? Remember, just because there was a no-fly zone last year doesn't mean it's a no-fly zone this year. Just want to make that clear. But no matter what you think, that's resistance. Okay? But just past performance does not predict future results. Is the ECB desperately weakening its currency? Not at the moment. Okay, Europe, like, do you remember when Greece was about to collapse? Spain was about to collapse. Italy was about to collapse. Ireland was about to collapse. Portugal was about to collapse. The euro was ripper strong. What? How could that be? It was because bonds were selling at pennies on the dollar. Okay? So they're like, all right, everything sucks, great. But that's where the deals were. Europe was cheap. Fast forward to now, investors are feeling good about themselves. The U.S. stock market is so overpriced that there's nothing left to buy. You can't buy anything. It's all overpriced. So you're like, well, I'll take a look at Europe. And you're like, damn, boy, I can get some old companies that have been around for decades, maybe centuries. I can buy them for pennies on the dollar, plus the euro is worthless. Dude, this stuff's cheap. I can buy an Italian bank for 18 cents on the dollar, plus catch a euro that's almost a parity with the dollar. Oh my God. So you buy it because it's cheap relative to other things, right? Yeah. So anyways, yeah, the ECB is still doing the same policies and stuff. The money's flowing, so it'll really depend on how aggressive they want to be on keeping the euro down. Why would the ECB even want to keep the euro low? Yeah, a little too short, too short. They want inflation. What you see here is deflationary. So yeah, 114, 115, you bet. So the world, I think, is preparing for the unthinkable. The Fed doesn't raise interest rates in June. Which is bullcrap. Ding, ding, ding. Thank you, James. Market's open. So I still think June, Sep, Dece. Ba, 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 ba. So you got to look at the facts. This is not an area to buy. I don't care what happens next, right? So you got to get that through. I don't care what happens next. I don't care if it jumps 100 pips, goes to 113. Couldn't care less. What's my job? To do my job. My job says, cash out, y'all. Everything above there's higher risk than what I'm willing to bear. Okay? So that's it. Yeah, that could be it, Anthony. I mean, really depends when you get out. Really depends on what happens next, doesn't it? What if it double top there? Shoot, take a shot. Okay, but we got oil going up to 54, right? So we still got this CAD play going on. Well, we don't know if peak oil is June 1st. Back before the big intensive drop of several years ago, or even back before the financial crisis, you have to realize that was 10 years ago that I did 50 years of oil inventory analysis. Is that funny? 10 years ago, I did 50 years of analysis. What were you doing 10 years ago? Did you have a quant on your payroll? That's what I did. I actually didn't do the analysis. Kurt Worley did. I paid him to. He was my employee. So anyways, that's what we found. Okay? But it doesn't have to be June 1st. is something that you should be aware of, like I say with pivot profit zones, right? Don't be so mechanical about prices. They're areas, they're zones, because you're trying to extrapolate or interpret what tens of thousands of people are going to act. We don't know exactly when they're going to act, and they're not going to act as a singularity, right? No, there's tens of thousands of people making decisions. Some people are early, some are late, but as far as the bell curve is concerned, most are going to be in a major zone, like pivot profit zones. Most people in the bell curve would consider taking profit here. Most people in the bell curve will consider taking profit here, sort of thing. So it's like, well, I don't know if it's June 1st, and especially because it's old information, maybe over the last 10 years that ain't true. But the thing is, it's still knowledge that I have, and I'm still going to think about it. I'm still going to, use that in my analysis. But it doesn't have to be June 1st. It might be right now. It might have been 2 weeks ago. It might have been May 1st this year. But the thing is, I'm thinking about a change of trend before the change in trend has occurred. Being a cabinet maker, huh? That's nice. They probably make a lot of money. I met a cabinet maker recently. Spends all his money on drugs. Yeah, good. Oh, I realize it, Peter. All right, so where are we? Yeah, we got a few more minutes, huh? Life is great. This stupid Windows, man. I just absolutely hate Microsoft. Gotta get what you got, gonna get what you give. Hey, we have a second, right? We have a minute or two. Let me just take a break. Input, output. All right, what do we get? Got to be careful because you're going the opposite way. Other people are going to look to sell it off sort of like this zone. Get out of there, Windows. Okay. It's amazing you can't get inflation with the devalued currency, huh? Okay, watch the hourly 5. Oh, yeah. There's only one authority. I have this book somewhere. Oh, no, what is this? Daniel Jurgen. All right, so Canada's in trouble. Oh, yeah. Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot, in all our sons command, with glowing hearts we see thee rise, our true north, strong and free. Yeah. Turned on the 4-hour 200. I noticed that, Cash. Yeah. But also notice like nothing so far has actually changed. I suppose what you would do, since this has already occurred, if it'll allow me, please allow me, MT4. Yeah. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Yeah. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Yeah. Yeah, keep my day job. How about God save our gracious Queen, long live our noble Queen. God save the Queen. Splendid, victorious, happy, and glorious. Born to reign over other people but me. God save the Queen. Yeah. They talk about throwing yourself under a bus, huh? You mean born to reign over us? I didn't vote for the Queen. So anyways, so we'll see if it kicks off there. Very ultimately, even though there's a ginormous spike on the medium term, on a 30-minute chart, there's almost no change, and really. So, you know, look, if you had already taken profit on Tuesday, how much did you miss profit-wise? Let's say you shorted here on Sunday. You took profit here on Tuesday. You took the rest of the week off. How much have you missed? Right? Apparently, you got out at this price. Yeah, but imagine, what have you been doing on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday? Hell, you probably didn't even do anything on Tuesday. It's even conceivable that you worked an hour this week, right? It's conceivable you work an hour a week and the rest you spend scrubbing the deck of your boat. Got to keep your boat clean. Yeah, 1 hour days. You know, I spend hours and hours a day outside. Somebody said to me the other day, hey, you know, every time I call you, I hear birds. I'm like, yeah, I'm outside. There's a rich life, huh? Yeah, it helps that my stupid computer still doesn't work. Won't even boot. Won't even boot. I don't think Windows can do it. I think it's a Windows problem. When you hook, so I think what the guys are doing at the computer place is they set it all up, get it all clean, and then they test all the ports, all video ports, and they're like, yeah, they all work. Good, hook them all up at the same time. Oh, yeah, but the thing is, you plug them all on, Windows just can't do it. Yeah, well, you'd think. So anyways, it's got a brand new Windows install, completely cleaned up with the drivers. But yeah, you know, I think that's what I'm going to do next. But it's not that there's 64-inch screens, because that'd be low res at 1080. I mean, look, this laptop has higher resolution than 1080p. And it's only an 18-inch laptop. It's tiny, right? So what I would need is, I'm thinking like 6 4 or 5K TVs. But then you need a machine that can run, you know, now you need 6 5K video cards. You know what? I mean, all of a sudden you're like, dude, those video cards are $600 each, right? So maybe you only need 3 video cards with dual ports or something, 5K each, and then you got to buy the 5K TV. All of a sudden, you're like, there's not a lot to justify it financially, but except it's just less than a pain in the butt. So there's a house in town for sale, and it's got a racquetball court in the pool house. It's got a probably a 5,000 square foot pool house. And one of the things it has in the basement near the wine cellar is a racquetball court. And I thought, oh, I should buy that and turn the racquetball court into my office. And I thought, up on the wall, because, it's 2.5 stories tall, right? I thought you could just immediately turn that into, I could have projectors running my screens, right? So I could have 6 100-inch screens hanging from a 40-foot ceiling. And to enter my office, you'd walk in, and there'd be a 2-story glass wall. Wouldn't that be awesome? Like a real war room. You come in, you're like, oh my God, you have a 2-story glass wall. I'm like, yeah, come on inside. The glass is bulletproof, by the way, right? And then you got those projectors hanging from the ceiling, and then you have a wall of monitors, like a real war room. I'm like, damn, that'd be it. I'm like, yeah. I thought, when do you ever see a house that has a racquetball court in it, right? So anyways, thought that was cool. All right, so I don't know. It's moving on up here. It's doing its thing. La-da-da-da-da. So if oil prices are going to continue to rise, then I just need to find resistance and dump this. So that's why I'm thinking maybe we need to watch the 4-hour one, or sorry, the 4-hour 21 or hourly 21 or pivot points or whatever. So we'll see how it moves. But really, the point I was trying to make is you could have been done this pair. I mean, even working, you could have been done for the week, literally Sunday or Monday or Tuesday. And the rest of the time you're fishing or surfing or doing charity work, teaching immigrants how to read English or whatever floats your boat. It's possible. It's possible, man. Now, let me take a look. Lesson learned? Quite an amazing coincidence. All right, well, peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. Daniel, where's my ice, bro? Of course it's too low. Yeah, well, Of course. Well, let me know what you can do. But yeah. See, I only care about the 10% that can do it, but let me know what's more reasonable. But look, a buyer wants to pay nothing. The seller wants too much. But that's just how it goes, right? Yeah. I appreciate that, Daniel. I know you got it. All right, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Mañana. Adios, muchacho. Oh, have a nice weekend, huh?